और 78%, 71% एंड 59% और एक में अमाउंट। गुड।
जितेंद्र कुमार केसरवानी ने भी अच्छा रिजल्ट किया।
जी
अब सुदीप जायसवाल, आपका कैसा रहा?
मेरा तो सर असाइनमेंट का ही आया है।
असाइनमेंट आपने थ्योरी पेपर तो दिया नहीं?
दिया नहीं सर।
You will be appearing now?
हाँ,
This
Always.
July. Submitted assignments?
हाँ.
Acha, you submitted assignments earlier. Now you submitted assignment for the second semester.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Huh?
Yeah.
You all have submitted assignment for the second semester?
Yes, sir.
Absolutely fine. So you all are aware about exams dates which have been announced?
Yes, sir.
It is in July.
Yeah, 24th.
So as far as the Noida chapter is concerned, we conducted 2 classes every month, and this month as well we will be conducting 2 classes. This one is the last 6th class, and after that we will have a review class on 20th of June.
20th.
So hopefully it all should go well, and it must meet your needs. So how do you find these complete online thing working for you? Are you able to get enough information to appear for the exam, pass the exam, or you feel fear about it?
No fear, sir. We will pass the exam.
Fear. So is it better than a classroom kind of activity, or this is better?
सर मेरे लिए तो यही बेटर है।
आपके लिए सुदीप जायसवाल, you enjoy online classes, नहीं? That's good.
Because सर वो मतलब जाके अटेंड करना would have been very difficult.
That is again difficult. From that angle, you are right.
तो 250 किलोमीटर ट्रैवल करके जाके क्लास अटेंड करना फिर वापस आना।
Even Jitendra Kesarwani, I think, will agree with this. He is enjoying online classes, and in addition to that, he is doing some more courses as well. Am I right?
Right, sir. Right, sir.
And Rupesh also, I think, enjoy doing it.
Yes, yes. 100%.
What about Chandralekha from Kochi and Sonal from Delhi? Do you enjoy these online classes, or you feel there should be offline classes?
So for me, it has been a boon, the online session, because the present city where I am, I don't have any chapter.
Okay.
So I'm based in Jabalpur, Madhya Pradesh, but then I'm definitely shifting to Chennai, where I have a chapter. So for me, online session has been the biggest boon. Otherwise, I won't have been able to do this course. And secondly, but we'll have challenges in the third semester when it after the third semester when it comes to the project, because taking the guidance would be little difficult during online, because one-to-one getting the clarification and guidance, one-to-one is preferred. But otherwise, for the contact classes, it was a wonderful and enriching sessions, and there was a lot of learning.
Okay. But even for project, I think, through telephone or through any other medium of communication, you can get clarity, and I think it can be managed. But certainly, I think meeting once or twice would be.
Project would be also going and doing physically. I don't know, in such pandemic, how would one execute it? Reach that stage, but that's the apprehension I'm just talking about.
No problem. Now we are having this paper 7, training measurement evaluation. Mainly we touched upon validation and evaluation in the last 5 classes, right? So online classes could be boon for many, but there could be few hindrances as well. Few may feel differently. Shrutika Singh has just joined. If you have some opinion, how do you feel online classes going on?
So online class, sometimes it's good. We sometimes we class with the our company meetings and all. So
Okay.
we not able to join, or sometimes network issues are there. So we want to join, but we are not able to join.
Right. Chandralekha, how do you feel? Find this online classes?
Sir, I am from Kochi chapter. Kochi chapter has no class last semester and this semester. That's why I am able to attend online classes from various chapters, and I got so many informations from famous and very skillful lectures. It's always okay, but certain practices, that's why role play, icebreakers and everything that we have to do practically, that if we are in the offline classes, we can enjoy all these things and can learn more. That's one of the drawback I am having. But anyway, online classes are effective, especially under this pandemic situation. It's only a solution. That's why we are enjoying. Okay, sir.
I think there are a lot of advantages, I think, of online classes. And the biggest advantage, what I feel, I mean, you have come to know about the separate strength or advantage which you find in computer and networking and all those things. So from that angle, if you see, you will find this is giving you a different domain. Like offline class was the ongoing thing which was going on, right? Acha, I've just given you the feedback form. So please remember to submit it after the class ends, right? In last class also, I try to give that. I hope you have got. Okay, I will just share the PPT which I have prepared as usual, and so good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I am Wing Commander KK Verma. I am a Diploma in charge ISTD Noida Chapter, as well as I will take this paper 7, 6th class. And I am the author of Unlearn Before You Learn. And I hope you get some idea of unlearning today when we face terrific situations, pandemic. The idea of unlearning gives us clue to deal with our present and think about our future. Right? Today's task is report writing. Okay. The course curriculum on which you will be appearing for exams is there something like this. The course will focus on various theories and models of training evaluation and transfer of learning, besides method and approaches to undertaking systematic evaluation of learning interventions through development of evaluation strategy, planning of evaluation through surveys, observation, stakeholders, feedback, etc. Data analysis for assessing training results and outcome at multiple levels and presentation of evaluation results. The course will, in addition, highlight the ROI methodology to determine the cost and benefits of training in monetary terms. So if you understand the training part, I mean, everything what you do, once you come up with this training program, training objectives, training planning, and then evaluation is at the final stage. I think that is what Dr. Lal gave you about the Bloom's taxonomy. No? You remember? So evaluation is at a very high level, and we covered few of the important points like evaluation strategy. We came to know about theories and model of evaluation. We saw the tools and method of evaluation. We worked on data analysis and statistical methods. And today it is report writing. And what I understand, report writing or anything writing basically can be done only when you understand the topic thoroughly and you understand what are the needs and what are the requirements. And that is what I think today in this class we'll try to touch upon. But before that, we remember what are the things we have already covered, starting from evaluation and validation. And I would like to repeat those theories and models of evaluation. Four theories and models of evaluation: Kirkpatrick model, Kaufman, Zero, and Phillips. Right? Any question you have on those? Anybody? Doubts? If not, we'll move to
yes, sir.
components of a training system. There are three, we can work it out, three components: meeting the needs of the organization, skill up, upgradation of the organization, development of trainees' overall personality as a professional. I mean, overall, I mean, there could be many components, but three major components you must have in your mind. And finally, when you try to write the report, you must ensure these things are met, meeting the need of the organization. And I'm not sure, I mean, how many of you have ever written a report on training? But if somebody has done, they would like to share their views. Have you ever got a chance to write a report on any training program or training strategy? Anybody?
No, sir, I have not got a chance.
No, sir.
Sonal?
No, sir, I'm not from L&D field.
Okay.
I haven't got any chance.
Okay. So from that angle, if you see,
So basically, hello.
Yes.
So basically, not a report, but yes, a generalized summary of the training I have written in the mails to the concerned people. So, like to summarize what all was done in the training and what was the expenditure, what's the feedback. So, does that consist of the report that we're talking about?
Yeah, that also could be the part of report. If you have any such things, please let us know. I think that will help us to understand what all could be the broad domain of these aspects. You see, when we talk about writing a report, writing a objectives of training, writing the schedule of the training program, or finally when you have to write a project report, it all encompasses those objectives actually. So yes, go ahead. What kind of Rahul
Are you
Roger?
asking me, sir? Yes, sir.
Rahul?
This is the report that I wrote was like a summarized report, which was sent to the management after the training was conducted. So it comprised of what all were the contents of the training, who all were the people that we focused on, like our trainees, then what was the duration, and what is the like estimated ROI that we can expect from it.
Okay. Right. The writing training report basically could be of anything. Even suppose a training program is suppose being planned. So if you plan the complete training program, and there you have to see what all the things you will try to cover. Or suppose some training program has been conducted and you are asked to write a report on this. Suppose last 6 months some training program has been conducted and then you are asked to write a report, or certain training program has been conducted and you are asked to submit a report. So all these things, as a training manager or as a training personnel, you all required to understand these writings. But what I always tell people, writing, like any other skill, writing also could be a skill, and that skill can be developed online. And especially, I think you all will agree, as an Indian, we generally, because we have a lot of language barriers, because of that, we generally don't rely much on writing. We even reading up to some extent, we don't rely much, and writing we generally don't do it. So that experience itself counts, and that is very ongoing process. You must be able to do it whenever you get a situation something like this. So components of training system could be meeting the needs of the organization. So as Rahul mentioned, so there was some requirement of the organization. So he wrote a report on that. And then skill upgradation of the organization. Because any training you conduct, so there has to be upgradation. And that is what you should focus on this. Invariably, we generally ignore that and we don't focus on upgradation. Even for any training program we attend, you will find we are unable to focus on upgrading things. And same development of trainees' overall personality as a professor. And this personality development, as we discussed in last 2 classes, starting from the attitude, manner, behavior, personality, as a trainee or as an individual, as a professional, the training must be the, these development should be the integral part of the training, right? So I think Bloom's taxonomy was discussed in the last class, if I'm not wrong. Same Benjamin Bloom's objective of training. And they gave like objectives of training when we talk about, it should be in the cognitive domain, affective domain, and psychomotor domain. So when we talk about the cognitive domain, it should be knowledge related objectives. When we talk about affective domain, it should be attitude related objectives. And psychomotor domain, it should be skill related objectives. So basically we must focus on 3 different aspects: knowledge, attitude, and skills. So this, as a general, as a trainer, you must try to whenever you make a program or design a training program, you must focus on knowledge, attitude, and skills. And that is what I think Benjamin Bloom also mentioned about those. And that is what you are required to do. So basically in today's class, you will find I will be covering the two model. One is the Bloom's model, Benjamin Bloom's model, and second will be the Dr. Janaki Raman model. You see, your Dr. Janaki Raman, whose book it has been given as a reference. So he has also developed a model, and that model we will be discussing it today to understand when we do the report writing for evaluation for training. I mean, overall that perspective should be covered. Right? So effectiveness of the training program should be like trainer's approach to evaluation. Effectiveness of the training program can be written from these three perspectives. One could be the trainer's approach to evaluation. The second could be like organizational approach to evaluation. And third could be the trainee's approach to evaluation. So what are the trainers, basically the advantage or trainer's approach? So trainers will try to find out what are the things basically it has worked, how the training program is conducted, how the learning requirement have been met, the content has it been able to deliver what is needed, and all those things. So it's a trainer's approach, organizational approach, and then you will find trainees approach to evaluation. And when the question of trainees comes, it's a basically, did the program make any difference? Right? You all are trainer. I mean, from your approach, could you say what are the how it impacts the quality of training, manage different situations? Because you see, I mean, you all must have faced different situations. So you always try to work it out. How this in different situation you can react, you can do things very differently, and that is what the trainer's approach to evaluation should be like. Okay, and there you will find the especially the contents, and content should be more relevant, and there it becomes too much challenging. I have always found the different trainers have a very different content on the same subject, and you will find all cannot be true or correct, all cannot be, I mean, 100% relevant. I am not sure if you face any such situations. So I mean, in my I mean approach to this whole thing, there I find you basically adjust to something like a godfather or something like a wisdom domain you create, and there you try to learn things. So the quality depends upon the basically trainer, and trainer must be having the overall knowledge about the organization, about the objectives of the organization, and he should have a broader picture, and he must know what are the technology what we have, what are the approach we adopt, and so that we can evaluate the training program correctly. Okay. And when we talk about from the organizational approach, it should be like improved job performance and interpersonal skills and attitudes, and it should be cost benefit for the organization. And improved job performance, you see, I mean, it's a basic, because unless until you conduct any training program, and there has to be a certain kind of improvement in the job performance. One is the, suppose whichever kind of job the person is doing, one should be the improvement, and second, interpersonal skill and attitude should be developed. So the basic, when we talked about the Bloom's taxonomy, you see, we basically talked about the knowledge, attitude, and skills. So this interpersonal skill and attitude becomes very important, and most of the training, you see, must incorporate those aspects, including the cost benefits, because any organization basically they want training should be the part of, must give benefit. It should be cost effective. So generally the challenge comes either from the trainer's approach or even organizational approach or trainee approach we talk about. It all rests on the last word which is written. Did the program make any difference? So any evaluation basically from any approach you try to evaluate must ensure it makes a difference in the existing setup. Right? Can anybody say how can you have this evaluation? I mean, you can judge there is a difference in the training program. How do you find there could be a difference? Yes, Shrutika Singh.
So can you please repeat your question?
We are talking about effectiveness of training program, and the last sentence is, did the program make any difference? So what I was asking, how can you make sure any program, either from the trainer's approach or organizational approach or trainee's approach, it must make a difference? What are the best way you find it can make a difference? make a difference. Yes, yes.
In end of the session, when we evaluate assessments and all, then we can make a difference that what is beneficial for the company, what kind of training technique.
Right.
How the trainees are understood by the training is the best way.
Just you can tell one or two important aspects which ensures there will be a difference. Could you let us know one or two? Like just giving a hint, when we talk about the content of the training program, how many of you feel content of a training program? I mean, in feedback form, you all must have seen, we fill the form, whether it is relevant, content is updated. How many of you feel that makes a difference?
So content makes difference actually. Live examples related to the content also make difference and make it simple to understand the content basically.
Okay. How will it make a difference? Content. Amar Kamath has just joined.
Yes, sir. Good evening. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. How are you?
Yes, I'm good. Good. Just during my fight against COVID is going on, 7th day. So far, so good. Doing better.
Please maintain and keep yourself safe. And
yes,
that's good. In spite of the issues and problems, you are here. So, anybody, Jitender or Sudeep? Because most of you are already, I mean, trainer, you keep attending the training program. And I generally find this is a very serious issue as far as the content is concerned. Content and relevance. Content and relevance. I just want, if you can throw some light, how can you decide this is the right content and this is the relevance, right relevance?
So one thing that would be whenever I attend a training, and if the content is comprising of the topics which I already know, like if there is an training on advanced Excel.
Amar Kamath is speaking.
No, Rahul Roger.
Rahul Roger. Yes, please go ahead.
So, like, you know, if there is an advanced Excel
but
training,
you are not being seen. Your fan is visible in video. Rahul Roger.
Okay, now is it fine now?
Online hassles. No,
yeah.
Your video is not coming. Your name is coming, Rahul Roser.
Okay. So basically, like, sir, when I attended some training, and let it be an advanced Excel training, then there'll be a possibility that, you know, out of the 10 topics that were like taught in the training, I already knew 6. So one of the method that we can have an effective content is to analyze the audience learning capability. Though I believe that, you know, there is a huge spectrum of audience that is sitting, but if we can concise it as much as possible as per the level of the audience, then maybe at the end, the effectiveness of the training is higher.
No, basically my point was, how do we decide this content is relevant in today's time or in the course or training program which you are attending or you are taking?
Sir, the speed of transfer of learning is decided, I mean, by the trainees only. So that would make the difference actually.
Hey, Rupesh Rai, you are an author.
Yes, sir.
My point is
Yes, sir.
to you, because you can, I think you have answered it, you have taken an initiative. What is my point is, how do you find contents are good, updated, and then it is relevant to the today's need or training need? I mean, because you have authored a book also, you can throw some light. Because invariably, this puzzles me a lot. I mean, when
Yes,
we are
sir.
discussing about these effectiveness of training program, I'm not sure whether it puzzles a lot of people, lot of trainers, but it puzzles me a lot when we find lot of outdated and obsolete contents
Right.
are still floating in the Google
Right.
era, Google space. Like you do Google it anything, you will find you get a lot of outdated and obsolete information, which may not have much significance. So, what is my point is, how do you judge the content and its relevance? Yes, Rupesh.
Sir, if objective is clear, I mean, clarity of objective is more important in this area. Otherwise, if objective is clear to me, clarity is there, then I can decide what is good for me. I mean, what content is good for me or good for the learning. Sometimes I don't. I'm sometimes people are confused about their objectives. So anything they can, I mean, just take for learning.
Anything they can take for learning.
I mean, any content. I mean, there are so many content and content are available. So they cannot decide what is good or what is bad. So that they don't have any clarity of their objective of learning.
No, that word, how this objective, you have basically termed to objectives.
Yes, sir.
How this objective is set, this content is good and relevant. Even objective, suppose you set some objective.
Yes, yes, sir.
You generally try to have some objective. I want to access right content and right information.
Yes.
How will you understand this the right content and right information? I mean, my question is that.
Maybe through the feedback, like post training.
Who is the Rahul? Sonal?
Yes, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Like I said that, like one method can be that post training. If we find that the feedback is good regarding the content, then we can know that the content is appropriate.
No, gentlemen and ladies, please try to understand. We are at the evaluation stage, and today is the last class of this course. What is my point is, we discussed about the model and strategy and all those things. Today I kept on this focus. Basically, we will try to find out the content and relevance, these two things. How do we as a trainer also, suppose you are a trainer, you are in any organization, how do you decide this content is right and this is relevant for the today's scenario? Because ultimately you as a trainer, you have to decide. And when you are writing a report on an evaluation of the training, you must have those things in mind. So that is what I want to know. Sonal, you want to say something?
So I'm starting with a very basic thing from the trainer's perspective about the content and the relevance. Content setting would be done at the TNA stage itself, though we are talking about evaluation. But when we are when we are trying to understand what content needs to be put in place, so it would be taken into account at the TNA stage only, when we understand where is the training gap. So as per that, in our training session, we would have that particular content. And from a trainee's perspective, the relevance aspect would be like how applicable it is to me in my present job. And if it fits in, then I'll feel that, yes, there is a lot of relevance in this particular training.
Sonal, you are very right when you say at TNI stage, I have decided the content. Am I right? This is what you
Yes.
are saying?
Right, right.
At TNI stage, you have decided the content, and you have decided the content based on objectives. Am I right?
Yes.
That is done. Now, basically, the training program is also conducted. It is arranged, program is done, designed, and everything. Are you getting?
Right.
Are you with me?
Yes, yes, I am very much.
Today, we are basically the training auditor. We all are trying to understand what is the role of the training auditor. Am I right? Are you with me?
Right.
And today, when we are trying to write the report, we're trying to understand how can we, in TNI, at the time when we have decided about objectives and decided about the content, and we say that has been relevant. Today, when you are writing a report, there I'm asking, how can you focus? I mean, what are the things you can focus on to understand the content is updated, relevant, and it is relevant to the objectives?
So may I?
Yes.
Soumya this side.
Amruta,
Soumya.
Somna, please go ahead.
Soumya. So first of all, as a trainer, I have to keep a keen eye on my goals. If my goals are always clear and are always, and I'm keeping myself always updated with the trend and the change in the goals, then I would always be clear with my objectives and the content which constitute me towards constitute the training towards the goal. So that is very much required, that I should be very much clear with my goal. Then only I'll be very much precisely clear with my objective, and further what content should be put inside that. So I should be very much clear and have solid knowledge about my goals.
Very nice. I think you basically focused on goals. That is very good. But in between, you said about one word, which I basically try to take it further. You said updated in trends.
Yes, sir. Because goals keep, as if we talk about business strategy and competency.
No, I mean, just if you can focus on your word only, updated in trends.
As to remain in trends.
What do you mean by this?
Yeah, because as the time proceeds, each and every organization has some missions and visions. And those, in order to achieve such visions, we keep on doing things which require our goals to get upgraded and updated. So our goals keep on changing. We keep on updating ourselves, and training is all about skilling and upskilling. So we should always keep our goals clear, and the goals should be updated to remain in trend.
Anybody can throw some light on updated in trends? Updated, how can this be done? Updated, how can you update yourself? Are you getting what my question is? Anybody?
Knowing the competency, market competency.
Yes, Rupesh, we have a lot of hope on you.
Sir. If we increase our knowledge and skill, then definitely we can update it. I mean, as per the market or as per the desired level of performance.
When you talk about updated, I would like to know basically because I mean, me can update on things what comes on my WhatsApp. Am I right? Now in my WhatsApp, whatever comes, you see, in whatever group I am basically. Now in group also, I know there are 100 people and they keep sending a lot of forwards. Can those, if I keep seeing all those updates, can it update me?
No.
Why? What is your answer?
In this sense, updation means what are you need to. I mean, there are some areas everybody has some interest. So in those areas only you need to update yourself. From any source of information you can be updated.
So you want to say ki the area where you want to basically focus, you must try to update there in those areas.
Definitely, sir.
But problem is there in this era where we live in
Yes.
WhatsApp era or Twitter era or Facebook era. Information doesn't come to us at our will or wishes. It just comes. I have seen a lot of people, they remain busy even while walking. I go for a walk in the morning and evening exercise. I find a lot of people keep seeing their mobiles continuously. And at times they keep talking also. Do you think it updates the individual?
Not
No.
at all.
Very good. Who said not at all?
Myself, Sonal.
Sonal. What are your remedies?
Updation means knowing the latest trends in the industry.
Okay. How can we, I mean, just if you can throw some light, how can we control this? I mean, stop this information which are coming on us every time through WhatsApp, Facebook, Twitter.
Stop the notification.
That's what notification comes. So we have to keep seeing also if we want to update ourselves. How can we narrow it down? Any idea?
You have to select the relevance. Is it related to you? Is it going to help you out in achieving your goal? If that be, if social media is your goal, is your industry, then why not? But if your industry is not, then why to have so much of avalanche of information? You have to then strike down. You have to reduce from there only, like a funnel.
So you have to decide on source.
Source of information. Very true.
Source of information. So basically you want to say something like a wisdom domain. We have to decide on group, WhatsApp group also, which you join or accept information. Because you can't keep seeing everything. Like I said, when you are walking, I have seen a lot of people even walking, they keep talking on phone to someone or keep seeing their updates, must be seeing updates only. I have not seen what they keep seeing, but they keep seeing the updates. So seeing updates on those mobile is updating in trends?
Not at all. Like what you said is very pertinent. Like today, I am also in many groups, WhatsApp group. But then to keep updated, I am just seeing on the ISTD WhatsApp what's happening, because that is my going to be the current industry. So that is my selection of, reducing the information or the updates from other industry or other sources.
Okay. So basically somewhere you have to narrow down. Gentlemen, just to cut short this, even for any updated of trends, you basically have to narrow down. I simplify, I think, this discussion. I think Rupesh agree with this.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Definitely, it is based on the source, and now the question is on content also, because some of the content which is not related to you, so definitely you will delete and avoid. I mean, to accept or avoid to see.
Even seeing those contents also may be very time consuming.
Yeah, definitely.
Moderation for you.
Right, sir.
So basically we have to be very selective in having the groups.
Right.
First thing. WhatsApp group, then we have to be very selective in seeing the information or updates coming from which source, which individual. Am I right? Like you all work in an organization, either you have some senior or junior. So you must be knowing which senior is effective or updated in trends. Have you ever evaluated such things?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That needs to be, I think, done. So if you are very cautious about the source of information from where it is coming and the person, which I may call it godfather or I may give some any name, expert. In general, in industry, they are called experts. So all cannot be experts actually. So either it comes from the reliable sources or experts. There is a guarantee we get updated in trends. So basically, we have to avoid any kind of trivial connection with the information sources. So that is very important. And if that is done, then it serves the purpose. And then I think any program, when you evaluate, like Soumya mentioned about in training identification need, contents have been decided, objectives have been decided. She mentioned about the goals also. Goals is decided. Suppose you decide about you want to rise or you want to professionally upgrade yourself. But how can you upgrade? Because there are a lot of information which are floating in the Google domain. I call it Google space or Google domain. They are not current, they are not relevant. And there, basically, we have a challenge. Are you getting? So that is what we need to do it further. Okay. Suggestions for making training effective. There could be few mention: top management involvement in training, autonomy of training system, quality and quantity of training, training faculty, training methodology, training coverage, training nominations. I think we all have mentioned in a different things. I would like to just touch upon the top management involvement in the training. Invariably, I mean, this is my personal experience. I'm not sure how you have experienced it, but top management generally are not involved in the training and they don't appreciate the training themselves. Most of the time, the top management feels they know all. You know, they know all syndrome. Even you become a top manager, you become know all, you pass through the know all syndrome. So I would like to hear again, listen your views, how you feel that top management should be involved in the training aspects and how can it be achieved at all if we can work something. Anybody? Top management, have you faced the problem with the top management in your working?
Yes, sir.
What kind of problem you have faced?
The problem related to expansion and forthcoming issues which are observed during the TNI, and to get it, if we really want to get it done, then convince the management to get it implemented, to get the adequate amount of resources which are yet not available in the organization, and to get our employees trained over that, to let them realize that really our employees are going to face such and such lacunae in future. And in order to get them trained, we need further more infrastructure or further more resources. So to get a yes from them, or to convince them to land on the same page of understanding of the needs of the organization in the field of training. So here I believe that top management gets involved, and to maintain a rapport with the top management, the L&D manager or whosoever is the role player comes into function. And to sail the training boat, it is really required to get into good terms with them and to make it happen.
But generally, top management not very convinced with the, you mentioned about the infrastructure, especially developing the infrastructure for the employees. I mean, this is maybe my personal experience, but invariably I faced in my corporate associations, wherever I work, I find the top management are just not ready to provide the required kind of infrastructure to their people to upgrade themselves. And in that situation, how do you deal with?
So in my experience, as per my experience with the people with whom we work with, they were like always keen to know about that if we are having any further visions, and if there are some visions, then what are those, and do we have a blueprint about it to get it done. For example, this pandemic taught us a lot about online education and online trainings. So the need analysis, and you can say the foresightedness about it, and what else can be done ASAP to get the things back on track. So for that, when the meeting was done with the top management, and the top management was very much keen in and interested in knowing about the plans and the blueprints, so that it can be worked upon as soon as possible, and the training should start just to maintain the competency.
Okay. How many of you basically you know Twitter account?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
How
sir.
many of you use Twitter account on a regular basis?
I'm using, sir.
Jitender?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. I also use, but not much. But yes, I use.
Rupesh? Jitender uses.
Yes, sir.
Huh?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You use for what, and how do you feel that is relevant in today's world?
About that, just a few of the pages where I used to like most, like My Government India, COVID vaccination, Bharat Path. It is about the trend and updated news, whatever the going on, or the thread, updated thread, like somewhere the threads which I am following now.
Okay. So there are also a lot of basically misinformation also floats.
Yeah, misinformation is also there. It's a lot of misinformation is there.
Lot of, more than information.
You
This is
can
what
say,
you want to say.
you can say 10% of useful and 90% of non-useful.
Not useful. So how do you segregate this?
So that is, I am totally I am strictly following those news which I want,
Okay.
I want.
And I mean, that is the one thing. And second, do you write a tweet update, or believe in writing, updating?
Yes, sir. Whenever I find some good quotes regarding motivation or leadership, like personality change, so I tweet on that. I tweet and I just post it on my wall.
Okay.
Sometimes it's retweeted again and again and again and again.
So suppose you do it, Jitender. I mean, what is your impression about the top management? You are also working in an organization.
Yes, sir.
Involved in training.
Yes, sir.
What about your top management?
So
They do tweet?
They do. They closely follow. They closely active in that social media group. Like some of they are very active in LinkedIn Premium. They have from free to they have upgraded to premium. They have majorly active on Insta, Facebook. Like Facebook, they have been. They whenever we discuss, they told to me that Facebook has been degraded. Degraded means is outdated. So they are socially active on Insta or LinkedIn or Twitter.
So now basically they rely on Twitter and Insta
And LinkedIn.
And LinkedIn.
Yes, sir.
So you want to say Facebook they have degraded.
Whenever we discuss as per their opinion, I'm saying of. I'm not saying that that is this is not my opinion that Facebook has been outdated, because I am also active in the Facebook. So that as per their opinion, they said that Insta is very active compared to Facebook as of now.
Okay. Anybody else whose boss or organization are active on social sites? No? Because we live in a very different world today, basically, where things are, I mean, we all talk, things are changing very fast. But invariably, we find top management, I mean, you all are trainer, you all are trying to upgrade yourself, but you always will find such situations where we are unable to basically update on a regular basis on Twitter, because most of the time we don't understand how it is to be done. And top management also in most of the organization, I mean, this is my observation, I may be wrong, but top management also feels very handicapped. And even if suppose you do it, I mean, generally you all are working in some organization in some capacity, you generally keep yourself away from these social sites or this updated kind of thing, because there is so much confusion. So what I feel, instead of just going out or not using these resources, it is very important for us to understand these are the resources, these are the current resources. And after second semester, when you enter in third semester, the 2-3 papers what you have in third semester along with the project, there you will be studying about the repercussion of social sites in the society and the training domain.
Even sir,
are you aware?
Yes, sir. If you allow me, so I'll share one live example recently which I faced off. So the vaccination is going on. So whenever I just sit and just find out the vaccination slot, I didn't get it. So one of my friend shared me you should use that Telegram. In the Telegram, there's a U45. There is a group name. Whenever you will enroll in that particular group, U45, so you will get every day information wherever the slots are available. When I joined that group, so at the midnight, I got the slot and I got vaccinated.
Oh, very good.
In the midnight, I got the information in that particular center, 266 doses are available at that time.
Okay.
So I registered myself and I got vaccinated in the next day.
Okay. Which vaccination you took?
I have 2 doses of taken Covaxin, sir. Covaxin.
Covaxin. You are
Yes,
in
sir.
Lucknow?
Yes, sir.
Lucknow, I think you get a bus to get vaccination.
Yes, sir.
Lot of luxury. But in Delhi and around, the people are unable to get a slot and so vaccination, and they are not able to get. So most of the people, they either go to Mathura, Agra, Meerut, and all those places.
सर हम यूपी वाले सबको बुलाते हैं सर, दिल बड़ा है.
आप बुलाते हैं, ये कौन बुलाता है? But this is what is happening, and it came in the newspaper also today.
Yes, sir.
So there are advantages of these, but that advantage basically has to be understood clearly, and you will find it's not very easy, and even the top management, they generally are not even because they remain busy in their fight and struggle like any one of us maybe, but invariably, I mean, should be in a position to decide what is right for you, and then only I think you can go ahead with improving your knowledge and skills, and that is what is very important. So as I said, we will talk about the two model. One was the Bloom's model, and now it is the second one is Dr. B. Janaki Ram conceptual model for training effectiveness. And when we talk about the training effectiveness, as in earlier also we have mentioned about the three different aspects: training effectiveness, program effectiveness, and organizational effectiveness. We'll touch upon one by one about these, right? And we'll see how these effectiveness can be achieved. So coming to program effectiveness. Program effectiveness depends upon trainer competence. So, I mean, trainer competence, you see, it is very important. And you really need a good trainer to have your program effective. And he should not be only having the knowledge. He should have the contents which are relevant and good, and he must be competent enough. And you as a evaluator or auditor, you should be in a position to comment on those trainers which are basically you are trying to write a report. And then the same thing which we covered earlier, the content relevance, enrichment, and engagements. So content relevance becomes very, very important. And invariably, this is my observation, the content relevance in the current perspective, you will find most of the time it remains missing. I mean, this is from my point of view. Certainly, this is my observation. But I will request all of you to focus on this content relevance and enrichment and engagements. And there, if you keep improving, it's not a one-day job. Like Jitendra did Twitter today, and tomorrow he knows what are the trends going on and understands things. No, it takes time. It takes time to know who all are the person who are writing good. And from my observation, if you see, I mean, there are very few people who talk relevant, who talk enrichment, who talk about engagements. I mean, most of the people, we try to achieve these things through different means rather than through content and the program. And there, what we have to make sure as an training auditor, you must focus on the knowledge, attitude, and skill development yourself to ensure in the training program you will be imparting those. And similarly, methodology and immediacy, and then timing. Timing is very, very important, because unless when we all talk about the things are changing very fast, and timing relevance is, if it is not there, then we will not be able to achieve things. Right? Any question? Shall we go ahead? Trainees' effectiveness. When we talk about the trainee effectiveness, you see, it is very important for the trainees' conviction, belief in self and renewal. Trainees' conviction is very, very important. I think we talk about the hard work, motivation, and all those things, but that comes only if the person is convinced or have a belief in self, or they are ready to upgrade or renew themselves. Right? So regarding conviction, I think it is very important we just spend some time and find out from the person like Rupesh. Will you like to see how the convictions comes and from where it comes? Belief in self, from where it comes and why and how?
Beliefs are, I mean, there are so many ways it comes to in our mind, because from the beginning, what we have been taught in the way our belief becomes. Like, I mean, most of the time, negative way of belief have been developed. Like from the very beginning, हमें यही सिखाया जाता है, हम ऐसे ये नहीं करना है, ये नहीं करना है, ये नहीं करना है. But क्या करना है, that has not been taught. So belief वहां से generate होता है actually. Problem is that कि
आपका
most of
वीडियो
the
नहीं
time.
आ रहा है?
1 minute, sir. Yes, sir.
हाँ,
So
आप ठीक लगा ना आप? हाँ, बताइए.
right.
पीछे क्या क्लाउड लगा दिया आपने?
हाँ, बहुत पहले से लगा हुआ है सर.
पहले से लगा हुआ. हाँ. How to develop belief?
So belief वही है. I mean, we generally believe
ये
from the
long
very
term में
beginning.
develop हो.
Yes, and we can change also. We can change also if we want to change.
And conviction, this trainee's conviction.
Conviction, if you have confidence in myself in for anything, then I can say with conviction. I mean, confidence, knowledge, skill, whatever I have strongly.
Okay.
So I can say, or I can reflect in our through our body with more conviction.
Right. Anybody else? Soumya? Sudeep?
Yes,
How the conviction comes?
among the trainees.
Yes, among the trainees.
So if I talk about first, if I talk about self-belief, so self-belief is all about, as Rupesh sir said, is our morals, our upbringing, and the way we are taught and brought up into. The second thing is, yes, belief can be, suppose if belief is somewhere less or more, it can be created through continuous actions that creates a belief in self. Through making mistakes, then the correct things, and then belief can be created. Now, when we talk about trainees' conviction, and if you're talking about training world, then if I see myself as a trainer and I want my trainees to have a conviction to get something done or get skilled to up to a certain thing or certain goal, then I should make them the part of that goal towards which I'm trying to thrive on. And I should make them believe that they are as much as equal stakeholder toward, or you can say they are as much as equal um, owners of the fruit which they are going to get after the achievement of goal. So when they get through this idea, when they believe through this idea, then definitely the conviction is going to imbibe inside them.
Very nice. Anybody? Trainee's conviction. You see, I mean, I bring these complex thing in a very simple term. Every day, every moment, you take a decision. You take a decision to do something. Suppose even if you attend a class, Rupesh, are you with me? You attend a class, you spend your few hours here. I mean, there has to be a conviction in self. I'm doing this thing right. Are you getting?
Yes, yes.
I'm now going to tell you all very important thing. Please note, whatever you are doing, you are having tea or you are gossiping there. Please understand. How many of you have seen Prime Minister Narendra Modi on a stage? Most of you must have seen.
Yes.
When he is on a stage, have you ever seen he is receiving a phone call?
No.
And when I go to park here near my home. Most of the people who do walking, they keep talking on phone. Why we are keeping ourselves so busy? Are you getting my point? Please get my point. Suppose morning I have decided I will walk for half an hour. This is for my health. Nothing else. And Kiran Bedi issued a recent video where she says health is one and rest of the zero keep adding zero. Have you seen anybody seen the video? So health is the first thing on which your whole prosperity, ambition, desire, and growth depends. When you go for a walk, you can't keep yourself half an hour free. Tell me. Suppose Modi ji is a prime minister, he goes on a stage, he also may be having thousands of things in his mind where he would like to give instructions to the people, he would like to talk to the people, he would like to receive the phone, he would like to do some jotting, but he does?
No, sir.
He never does.
Never.
It's a very, I mean, you try to understand, this is a very, very serious observation. And I'm giving you to most of you as a trainer. You do anything in your life, in a particular moment, you segregate. What? You just do this thing. And that decision has to be there. And that decision should be based on your knowledge, your perceptions, your belief, your goal, your ambitions. Right? The same thing, trainees' conviction. When the trainees are there in front of you, you must try to impart that belief in them and conviction in them. Am I right? And that is what the kind of conviction we need for everything, even the training program to make effective. Am I right?
Right, sir.
And
Right, sir.
finally, about the organizational effectiveness, it's all basically the opportunity for application of training benefits, organizational culture and climate. Any organization, the culture and climate is very, very important. Invariably, they are not taken care. So you as a trainee, when you are trying to work on organizational effectiveness, you must make sure you are making some culture. You are making a culture of excellence. You are making a culture of success and achievements. You are making a culture of growth. I work with many institutions, many individuals, many people, organization, I find most of the organization lack or individual lack the kind of culture, the kind of climate. They want to do something very big. They want to do something great, but they are very restless. They have no belief on their own decision making. Every day they remain in panic. Can you achieve anything? No. If you remain in panic every time, every day, you can't. And that is what in your training write-up, when you try to audit a report, training report, you must have these things in mind. And as an auditor, you must emphasize on the productivity and quality consciousness. Am I right? How many of you agree the old references could be a challenge for you to be updated? Do you really feel?
Yes, sir, very correct actually. And it is most of the time it is a negative way, but most of the sometimes in a positive way also.
Correct. Even in positive way,
Yes,
but it
yes.
wastes lot of time.
Time, yes, definitely.
It
Yes.
doesn't give you anything. Like
Yes, sir.
you all must have heard about Rajdeep Sardesai.
Yes,
Have
yes.
you heard?
Yes, yes.
He
Absolutely.
writes a book on Modi.
Yes.
Can you imagine what kind of book he can write on Modi? When he keep abusing that other individual just to become famous
Yes, yes.
or to sell his book, he write a book on Modi. You don't have a respect for that individual. How can you write a book on Modi and write a good book? So what will happen? Anybody who reads that book will be the waste of time. Are you getting? So what should be done? So please update yourself for the next thing. And whether you believe, I'm not sure how many of you agree with my this solutions. But if you use this updated version, and these are the things, basically it's a very updated and changing. So that becomes a challenge, and that challenge is with you all. So I will urge you all to practice for your own narratives and start today. Start today. Whether you go on Facebook, whether you go on Twitter, whatever you have studied, try to update and try to write some positive sentences. Invariably, we all have been taught to be abusive, defensive, and curse our own culture and traditions. You must get out of these and try to build narratives. In your books, too, when you see, you will find there are lot of things which has been written. You will find they are not relevant. So if you want to be relevant and be genuine, try to upgrade yourself. And I have narrated few of the means in a very short and limited time what I had with me. And I hope these will enlighten you in the future, in the life. in your professional life as well as personal life. Am I right? And one more important thing I would like to say, you all must be aware the new batch may be starting from August. Are you aware? 85 batch. Okay. So admission is going on. So before we conclude, writing is important for preservation of knowledge. Report writing is very important and must be taken seriously. So don't rely on what was written in 18th century or what was written in 19th century or what was written by Ramchandra Guha. Rely on what the current content writers write. I hope you believe in it. And that's how the report writing and you as a training auditor will become positive and successful. Am I right? Any question? Anybody? You all know my number, mobile number, email, and then Facebook and Twitter. My name is Kamendra Kishore Verma, and I have shortened this as per the computer programming, and I have made my name Kamekish. So that is what stands here, right? Gentlemen, how do you feel? Hello? Are you getting it?
Yes, sir. Yes, yes, sir.
Any question?
Sir, our exams are scheduled in July. So,
Right.
so this semester also, I mean, will be held as a online. I mean, our
This semester is also online. That is what has been declared now.
yes, yes.
So there will be online class, online exam only. So you please prepare, and as somebody was telling, na, ki they could not upload and something like, and it created a problem. So please avoid any such thing happening, and be ready for whatever situation comes, right? So you should be in a position to give your exam properly. So it will be online, and you have to write online and submit it. Okay. Any other question?
So it would be same like previous now?
It will be same like the previous one. If first semester, if you have appeared and given exam, it will be on the similar line, right?
Yes,
So
sir.
if there is no question, I will close.
Just
Right,
sir.
Rupesh?
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Okay. Bye bye.
a kind
Thank you, gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen. See you. And
Thank you,
please
sir.
have a tea and come
sir.
for the last class at 4 o'clock.